Baroness Hodgson of Avenger.
My Lords, I stand to move Amendment 71 in my name and speak in support of Amendments 72 and 73 in this group, led by my noble friend Baroness Fuchs. I remind your Lordships of my list of registered interests, which I highlighted during the committee stage of this bill. All three amendments would enable us to put an end to much suffering incurred by thousands of animals when they're exported for slaughter or fattening. The government has already committed in its manifesto to end excessively long journeys for slaughter and fattening, so let's take this opportunity to deliver on that promise and put it in this bill. Why wait? As I said at the committee stage, exporting animals for slaughter is simply a welfare insult. In this day and age, there is no reason why they cannot travel on the hook rather than on the hoof. I don't want to reiterate all the examples we discussed during the committee stage, but I remind your Lordships to look at the figures. The Animal and Plant Health Agency reported that around 40,000 animals were exported last year. Of these, around 30,000 were sheep, with only around half going to the continent, some transported all the way across Europe to countries that have a large onward trade to the Middle East. The long journeys are stressful for the animals and in some cases result in enormous suffering, due, for example, to overcrowding, high summer temperatures and animals receiving injury en route. On top of that, they can end up in fattening or slaughter systems that would be considered illegal in this country. Even in this country, I believe that animals should be slaughtered at the closest point to production as a default option, and Amendment 73 addresses this. I understand that it is supported by the BVA. Whilst I understand that various options in this area are being looked at, can I point out that Amendment 73 would not come into effect until the end of January 2023, which gives us time to achieve this. As this was in our manifesto, surely this bill is the right place to move this agenda forward and to ensure that it actually does happen. Amendment 71 builds on the debate we had at committee. In addition to Amendments 72 and 73 focused on slaughter and fattening and restricting journey times, it specifically prohibits the export from Great Britain of farmed animals for slaughter without stunning. It provides that farmed animals transported from Great Britain to Northern Ireland for slaughter must be slaughtered in Northern Ireland and cannot be taken further afield before being killed. During the committee stage, the Minister stated, "The government encourages the highest standards of animal welfare. Although our policy is to prefer that animals are stunned prior to slaughter, we accept the rights of the Jewish and Muslim communities to eat meat killed in accordance with their religious beliefs. My Lords, I emphasise that I too respect the needs of our multicultural society in the UK. If, as the Minister stated, it is our policy to prefer that animals are stunned prior to slaughter, as long as there is enough animals killed in accordance with for the UK halal and kosher consumption, I see no reason for the government not to accept this amendment regarding export abroad. Indeed, both the RSPCA and Compassion in World Farming have highlighted that more animals than are needed are already killed without stunning for the UK halal and kosher consumption, so that they are more flexible for sale. Figures from the Food Standards Agency indicate that in 2018, over 94 million cattle, sheep and poultry were slaughtered without stunning. In addition to this, a Food Standards Agency report last year highlighted that 90,000 of the 2.9 million non-stunned animals slaughtered for kosher-certified meat were rejected as unfit for religious consumption and went into the general market unlabelled. This does need to be addressed so that there's equality of choice, so that those who would choose not to eat meat from an animal killed without stunning are able to identify that meat. The BVA state that there is evidence that non-stun slaughter is highly likely to cause pain, suffering and distress. My Lords, there are currently more animals than needed killed without stunning for the UK market, and whilst I personally find the figures I stated above shocking and believe that we should only kill as locally as possible and only what is needed in this way, this amendment does not prevent UK communities from eating meat killed in accordance with their religious beliefs. What it does do is to prevent British animals having to undergo long, stressful journeys to be killed at the end in a way that is highly likely to cause pain and distress. Surely one of the main reasons for leaving the EU was so that we can put in place laws that we feel are right. The litmus test of humanity in a country is how we treat the vulnerable, and animals surely are among the most vulnerable. This trade is just utterly cruel, and if the UK wishes to consider itself a country leading in animal welfare, it needs to stop such practice around the export of animals now. I beg to move.